Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So, lots to talk about in this video. Oh my goodness, lots to talk about. First things first, I've had the most success I've ever had trading in the past 2 months, or in the past since I started trading. But elephant in the room is I have fucked up and given a lot of those wins back from being not disciplined, from, well, a variety of things I think that I'm gonna address in this video. So when I inevitably do make my wins again, I can actually keep them and not give them back. And I think a lot of that comes from not being, I think one exercise that would help me is being honest about my specific plan, my personality, what trading my plan means for me as a trader. And I'm going to get into what that means, but I just on a quick note about me in my journey, I would say I claimed that I celebrated too early. One of my mentors, Baraka on Discord, this mentor of mine, they said you should have a profitable quarter before you claim profitability. And I was just so excited. I doubled my account, and my potential winnings, what I could have had if I followed my plan, would be a 400% increase of my initial, what I started with. 400%, or maybe 350. Regardless, really dramatic returns is what I could have had. What I actually have had is much less, because I've given back a lot of my profits. So I'm still green, though not very much. And I want to actually read a Reddit post that my mentor sent me. One of my mentors, my main mentor. And it's about the time frame for measuring your success. Because I made a really short 2-minute video yesterday about how I just need to slow down. And that's absolutely true. I do need to slow down and go slow and take it easy. And that's what I want to cover in this video. That's the crux. That's the main thing I want to cover, is how I'm going to read this, but then I'm going to talk about what can I expect to trade my plan. What kind of emotions can I expect? Because it's not the plan, it's me. I can be a profitable trader if I just follow my plan. I really can. I know I can. I've have enough evidence to say that for sure. I've had 3 months, profitable months this year, and I've grown my account quite a bit in the last 2 months. Problem is just giving it back, unfortunately. And I'm not gonna, the goal is, anyone says, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. I don't know who said that, but anyway. So everyone wants the results that show up over time, but most people judge their progress daily, which creates a constant sense of underperformance, even when nothing is actually going wrong. On a day-to-day basis, trading progress looks flat and unrewarding, with wins and losses canceling each other out while noise dominates decision-making and emotions feel far more important than they really are. This environment makes it easy to confuse normal variance with personal failure, which is why so many traders abandon working systems or increase risk at exactly the wrong moment. I'm going to read that again. This environment makes it easy to confuse normal variance with personal failure, which is why so many traders abandon working systems or increase risk at exactly the wrong moment. The current market amplifies this behavior as fast money narratives, leverage, constant stimulation, and public scoreboards push people towards intensity and reaction instead of consistency and restraint. I definitely, once I started being more public about my profitability, I think that put some pressure on myself. And I leaned more towards intensity and reaction and stimulation than consistency and restraint and following my plan. And that's all about what this video is about today. After I read this, I'm going to talk about what I need to, my expectations for my plan, and hopefully that will make trading my plan more psychologically easy to accept. But I'll get into that in the next segment. So over time, this pressure quietly shifts trading into something closer to gambling, where decisions are driven by urgency, boredom, or the need for excitement rather than process and edge. When the time frame extends to weeks, patterns begin to emerge, making it easier to separate losses caused by poor execution from those caused by variance, while exposing emotional habits that were invisible before. This is often where traders face an uncomfortable choice because slowing down feels unproductive in a culture that celebrates constant action, even though it is usually the first rational adjustment. Across months, persistence becomes measurable as risk management turns automatic, position sizing stabilizes, where did I go? And unfamiliar setups stop feeling random. Not because the market changed, but because behavior did. At this stage, trading starts to resemble a process instead of stimulation, with fewer trades taken overall, but far fewer unforced errors, allowing progress to become directional rather than explosive. Years are where the curve bends meaningfully, not due to a single breakthrough, but because small enough improvements survive long enough to compound without being reset by emotional decisions. High time frame goals introduce balance into a system that otherwise rewards excess, reducing the need to be right today and make it easier to step back when conditions are unfavorable. The market will always offer opportunities to gamble, but it rarely offers incentives to slow down, which is why persistence is so often misunderstood. Going into 2026, persistence is less about pushing harder or trading more, and more about staying rational long enough for time to quietly do the heavy lifting. Such a good post. And man, this post only has 0 upvotes. This post should have 100 upvotes. It's such a good post. And my comment was removed for saying this post should have more upvotes, because I commented that a while ago, more than 8 minutes ago, 35 minutes ago. So anyway, back to the charts, and actually back to my plan. This plan is a plan I did change. Really, I don't want to change it. I've got my entry rules, I've got my position and risk management rules, and this is what I want to talk about as it relates to my trading. This is the big part of accepting my plan psychologically and just accepting what it means to trade my plan. And the only part of this plan that I still haven't completely finalized is this part, but it's not really important to this video, so some wording might change, but really this is mostly set in stone. I do want to do more back testing regarding my take profit. How do I take profit? But I think that I think I have enough here that I can just talk about my plan. Yeah, I do, because I've back tested enough that I know what I can say. So the way my plan works is it works really well in high volatility. This month here, this period here when we were going down and we have lots of moves outside the prior day range, I was doing quite well in this period. I had lots of 6, 7, 8, even some 10, 12, 13R returns. I did very well. And that's how I had some wins like that. But most of my trades resulted in a loss. The majority of my trades are losers. About 2/3 of them are losers. And the way I get those returns is I do what Jesse Livermore called pyramiding. I size into a position after it starts going my way. So for my trading, what I need to accept psychologically is, and I've heard Adam Grimes say this when he started doing this, it helped his trading a lot, is I need to accept that my trade will probably be a loser before I get in. I can't know whether it's going to win or lose. I think I might have heard Linda Raschke say this too, which makes sense because she was a big influence and mentor of Adam's. So because I lose more than I win when I enter, and I don't know whether or not my trade is going to work out, I don't want to risk very much when I enter. Which is why I want to start positions with low risk, always 1R. Okay, I don't want to risk a lot because I lose most of the time. How then, Peter, if you're risking low, do you make 7, 8, 9, 10 plus R returns? Well, good question. It's because I do what Jesse Livermore did, and I pyramid into my positions. I scale into my positions. Jesse Livermore was big on you can't risk your initial stake. You can't lose your initial stake because that's what takes you out of the game. It's what every market wizard says. It's what Adam Grimes says, Al Brooks. Every single trader I look up to, they talk about how you can't lose your initial position. It's why my background on my desktop, I have the first big quote I have is Paul Tudor Jones. The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense. So you can't, and Paul said that after there was a time where he lost 60% of, I believe, his account when he was starting off, and almost took him out of trading forever. And can you imagine that? Paul Tudor Jones is worth $20 billion and huge philanthropist, and he almost was taken out of the game because he risked too much. And that taught him, and I should go back and reread his Market Wizards. It really, like, you can't risk your initial bet. And Jesse Livermore said that too. And Jesse Livermore blew up 3 times, but he scaled into his positions. Because guess what? Once it starts going your way, this does a couple things for you, for me, in my trading plan. Because I start with a small stake. I don't know which ones are going to work, okay? Then it starts going my way, okay? I have a small stake. It goes my way. Now I'm like, okay, the market is showing strength. I have evidence it's showing strength because I have a winning position. Okay, I waited for my system, my plan. I entered when my plan said to enter. And now I have evidence it's going my way. So let's say, 4-6 minutes pass, a couple more bars form. It's gone my way a little bit more. It hasn't come down and stopped me out. So now what I'm going to do is after it's gone my way, I am going to add to the position because it's shown me it's a winner. And by the way, I don't even enter unless it already has a bunch of criteria met that make me think, hey, this might be a winner. Because most of the time the market does nothing and is acting a way that I can't trade. Most of the time it's just chopping around, and you can't trade and chop because it's just equilibrium and it's not going anywhere. Also can't trade when it's not volatile enough, which is why I have the ATR requirement. The ATR on the 2-minute has to be at least 5% of the ATR of the daily. So this number here, here 20, it's at 20. 5% is 18. 5% of this 36 number here, or 365, is divided by 2. All this is tradable because the ATR is 21, 19, 17. If it's like right there, it's fine. But down here, it's 10. It's only about 2% of the daily ATR. There's not much volatility, not much follow through. So that's why I have an ATR requirement. I also have the breakout requirement. And guess what? Another thing I started doing that fucked me up is, so here's my signal, right? This is the first breakout right here. This is the first time the bar tries to close below the previous 1 hour bar. That's why it has an arrow by it, because I coded this. So guess what? If this doesn't close in the first 3 attempts, I just give up on the hour and I won't trade it, because what was happening is I was watching and I was waiting for it to eventually close below, and what would happen is I would just sit here and wait, and I would force trades and anticipate. And guess what? If this would close right below here and then immediately come back up, that's only 1 attempt. But since it stays here and tries to close below, and part of it goes below and then it closes above, and part of it goes below, I guess this one would have filled and I would have lost 1 R. But no big deal, because it's 1 R, okay? I know most of my trades are going to lose. But say this bar, say this was a signal, but it didn't fill, like it just went up, I would just be done for the hour. But say if, okay, right here, this one goes below the previous 1 hour, but it comes up. But say this one were to come down and close below, that one would be valid because only 1 bar attempted to close below. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds of my plan. I just want to get back to my point, the main point, which is the psychology of trading. Because it's not about my plan. It is about my plan. I need a plan. I'm going to work on my plan and backtest it more thoroughly, and I'll probably make a video about that. Maybe I won't. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is understanding my plan, what it does to me on a psychological level, and accepting that. Because it's not the plan, it's me. And I'll tell you what, let me pull this back up. I need to follow this because I can't let these 8 years and these tens of thousands of dollars I've invested into this be for nothing. I can't. Not an option. I need to succeed. Just watched this movie in the theaters, and it's called Marty Supreme. And the main character is, so many negative bad traits. He's a dick. He's just reckless, and he's a bad guy. But I relate to him in the fact that he was so motivated towards a goal, he would never give up. I think the ending was really good. I think the ending, as a kid, and he's like crying, and I think it's because like becomes his new passion. It's kind of a happy ending, maybe. I don't know. I think he's kind of ego-driven and led by his ego, and he's so dedicated to his goal and his purpose of becoming the best ping pong player in the world. And I can it's like, I don't even want to be the best trader in the world, but I do want to be the best trader in my hometown. I do want to be a really great trader. I do want to make a lot of money. I want to make millions of dollars. That's my goal. That's my dream. And I have to go slow. I can't rush it. Gotta just take it slow and take it easy, and accept that it might take a decade to get there, or 2 decades, and that's okay. I just need to go slow. I have a full-time job that can cover my bills, and go slow with trading. But to go slow, I have to accept my plan, and accepting my plan means waiting a long time to get an entry, entering, and getting stopped out. Or worse, waiting a long time to get a setup, entering, having it go my way, and being up like 3R, scaling in, and getting stopped out for 0R because I took the risk to scale in. It might even worse than that. I could scale into a trade, have it go more my way, scale in even more, and then get stopped out. But that would be extremely frustrating. But the reality is, one of the times, and this happened to me a lot in November, where just things were going my way, eventually I'll scale in and it'll go my way, and I'll scale in more and it'll go my way, and I'll have a big profit, like a 15R profit. And that will happen. But that will happen 1 out of every 10 times. If that. I gotta do the math. I don't even know the numbers on that, but happen a minority of times. What is way more likely is what's going to happen way more often is I'll get stopped out, or it'll go my way a little bit, and this morning it went 20% of the daily of the ATR 14, but it was only for 2R, so I didn't exit. I should have exited though. I didn't want to exit because it was only 2R, but guess what? I'm more comfortable with going slow and growing my account slowly. 2R is still a good day. If I were to enter here or here like I did, 735, and I look at the ATR and see that it's ATR 14 on the daily chart in the top middle, I see that it says 365. Okay, 365. 10% of that is 36.5. Okay, that's 10%. Multiply by 2. That's 73. 36.5 times 2 is 73. So I just take this, and that's 20%. So 73 is 20% of 365. Do you follow? Okay, I'm targeting 20%. Or I'm targeting 2 things I'm targeting, but one of my rules is for, well, it doesn't matter. I could say half the gap. It doesn't matter. The reality is, it moved to like the daily ATR. I should have got out here. I have to update my plan, which is why I'm thinking about that. I think we'll put this in the universal. Put that right there. Yeah, Supreme, good movie. Check it out. I want to talk about though. Like, I just have to. I keep repeating myself, so I'll probably end the video soon because I don't think there's anything else to add. But I just have to accept that most of the time nothing's going to happen. Like, I'm not going to be able to trade. And then most of the time, even when I do trade, it's going to be frustrating because it's going to be break even. And it doesn't mean anything's wrong. Just like that Reddit post said, where is it? Right here, in here, it's normal variance. That's part of this system that I trade, is that most of the time nothing's going to happen. And I've been confusing that with personal failure. I've been saying, okay, bad at this, or I need to change something. I'm doing something wrong because my account hasn't grown in 4 weeks or 3 weeks. But what I'm trying to say to myself here is, there's actually something wrong with you. Or is this just how your plan is designed? Is this just variance? Might it actually be the case that even though your account hasn't grown in 6 weeks, that's not a bad thing? That's just part of your system. Because the way your system works is, the way it seems that it's going to work is once or twice a year, there will be periods, a couple week periods of increased volatility. It seems like it particularly happens when the market starts trending down, or being more choppy on a broader level, or being a trader's market rather than an investor's market, a buy and hold market. Reality is that's just how your system works. And so it might not be a bad thing. It might not be a thing that you should get so frustrated about when nothing is happening for a long period of time, because that might just be variance. Are you hugging me? It might just be variance, okay? Probably just variance. If I'm following my plan, like, post is so great because, like, look at social media, you look at YouTube, it makes me feel, at least, probably because I'm comparing myself, that I'm a failure because I don't have a Porsche or a Ferrari yet. And that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. Like, I feel like it is embarrassing just to admit that out loud, that I feel like a failure because I don't have a Porsche or Ferrari, when these are, like, people will ever have those. And the reality is, a lot of rich people don't even care about having that. That's just status symbol. And ideally, like, I'm a wood person that doesn't even want those things, but I'm just accepting this about myself as I do. Are you really gonna just claw my back like that? Yo, cats. They're so funny. Haven't had cats in like 8 years, a couple months ago, and I love them. They're funny. So I guess the main point of this video is just to remind myself, if it feels like nothing's happening for 6 weeks or 6 months and things are just going slow and my account's been flat, it might not mean anything's wrong. It might just be part of the journey, because the way my plan works is a small percentage of the time the market becomes really favorable for my plan, and that is when I want to exploit the market and trade it. But I don't know when those times will be. I don't know when my trade will work well, so I just have to follow my plan and accept that most of the times it will not create big sexy wins. It will be slow and boring, and it won't be sexy. And you know, I have to be okay with that. I have to accept that. And I shouldn't, maybe I should, you know, there's called like The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Maybe I should read that, because I know maybe that's about, like, I don't know. But then you learn about like Will Storr, talks about how wanting these status things, it's just part of us and it's not a bad thing. I don't know what the right answer is, if it's a mix in between of, you know, kind of monk approach, let go of your wants, versus I'm a human and it's normal to want things. It's part of your psychology, your evolutionary psychology that's just baked into you. I don't know what the right answer is. And I don't need to know today, because the point of this video, it's a trading video, not a philosophy or psychology video. The point of this, the big takeaway is, I need to accept the process. It's slow, it's a grind, and that's okay. And I don't think I have. I've myself to have results fast, and it's led to something closer to gambling, where decisions are driven by urgency. Big part of my problem was urgency. I was like, I have to get my account to 100K That's when I'll know that I'm a successful trader, once I get to 100K, and that's bullshit. It shouldn't have to get to a number. I'll buy myself a cake and a bottle of champagne if I ever make it to 100K and be really happy, but I just want to go slow. And I'm not going to worry about that money. I'm going to just go slow, trade my plan to my best of my abilities, because I'm not going to be perfect at trading it all the time. I know I'm not. I'm going to probably get impatient and trade when I shouldn't. But the goal is to get closer to a perfect version of myself where I do trade more slowly and I'm not focused on, ow, my cat clawed me, where I'm not focused on trying to make something happen right away, and I'm okay with slow and mediocre results for a long time, trusting that eventually I will have a period where my account, where I start having some really big wins. And when I have those really big wins, I have to say, this is part of my plan too. This is rare. This is not the norm. This is I waited for all these months was for my plan to produce results like this. And I have to really follow it well then. I can't gamble. Because when I like to gamble when things are exciting like that and size up, and I can't give back those big wins that I waited so long for. So, yeah. It's going to be a lot of accepting pain, and boredom and mediocrity and lackluster results, and it's going to be boring and it's going to be frustrating. Especially it's going to be frustrating when I have been so long for a trade and I size up because it's going my way, and I move my stop loss to break even and it keeps going my way, and I size up even more, and then it stops me out, because that'll happen. But the goal is hopefully it will be part of it, and I have to accept that. And the slow way is the fast way. Just gotta trust the process, expect that I'll be frustrated, but that's part of my plan. And if I have a different plan that's more exciting, well, gotta back test and find it. But I don't think I'll be able to. I think this is the best thing I'm gonna find. I don't want to keep looking. I think I just commit to this plan. No plan is ever going to be perfect for your psychology, but it's about finding one that's as good a fit as it can be. And I think I found that with this, and I just got to accept that variance and that I'm going to go slow. So with that said, I appreciate you watching. Thank you. This is a long video, and you have the exciting videos because you want exciting trades, because guess what, you get to make more videos. If most of my videos are just boring, or if most of my videos are just if the time that it's to watch, I'm not gonna make exciting videos. So maybe I just have to make different videos where I read Reddit posts and I talk about trading. Maybe that's what this channel needs to become, instead of reviewing my trades, because those won't happen often. I just need to I think probably I'll just into reading Linda Raschke articles or Adam Grimes blog posts, or read passages from Market Wizards, and I'll just talk about trading psychology, because that might be more valuable, and that would remind me about variance. Brent Donnelly has a really great interview with the Alpha Mind podcast about variance that I should mention. Brent Donnelly, he worked at a fund and traded an account from 5 million to 50 million in a single year. Really great trader, Forex trader. So check him out if you guys are a great trader to listen to and learn from. These cats keep attacking, and I think it's time to probably end this video. But yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna have to do this a bunch to kind of like, this is myself, because it's talking to you, reminding you that it's okay to go slow. Ow, this cat keeps biting me. Ow. I need to get some food. It's 2 p.m. I haven't eaten any food yet. Been up since 9. I'm wiped, but I know I'm on the right path. And even though trading, it's like my mentor said, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's a long, slow grind, but it's the grind I chose, and I'm never giving up. So for watching, have a great rest of 2025, and I really appreciate you watching. So thank you, and take care. Peace.